Carlos Nelson with What's Up Worldwide. And tonight we have a special guest just coming back from Mexico, Mr. Dre Taylor. He's going to talk a little bit about his trip down to Mexico, where he visited, the different archaeological sites that he visited, and he's going to talk about his plans for the future to 2021 on his travel plans. Dre, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
All right. Hey, the ball is in your court, Dre. Talk to our audience. Let them know where you went, why you went, and what was going on. Describe what was going on while you were out of the United States, and then we're going to take a look at some of the pictures that you provided.
Yeah, so I just got back from Mexico. I went to Cancun for, I think, 7 days, and I was down in Tulum for another 8 days, 7 days, something like that. And I was in Playa del Carmen, which is like 45 minutes in between Cancun and Tulum. And so I think I spent the day there. And so what happened was, I mean, everything was pretty much...
How long was your trip?
Like 15 days.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, he's still over there? Because
I was still over there.
I like that.
I mean, everything's been shut down for months. Couldn't go anywhere. Mexico is one of the only places opened up. Right beginning of the year, I got back from Ghana. I was in Ghana for 15 days, and in New York for about another 5 days. And so I came back in January. Next, February, March, everything was shut down, so I couldn't go anywhere. And so pretty much everybody's on lockdown. Mexico opened up the borders. Everything was pretty much safe over there. So, they gave you the little temperature test when you came in, sanitized everything. They even sprayed your bags, at the hotels as far as disinfectant. They went through the whole measures of the temperature screens when you walk into some of the hotels. Had to wear a mask everywhere. And I mean, they took it pretty serious down there in Mexico where, even got stopped by the police one time driving. And, he was just trying to get some cash. You got to pay that foreigner's tax, when you go out to the second and third world country sometime, where it's not the same kind of police brutality here. It just, the way that system's set up is kind of corrupted where, they just want a little $20 here and there.
A little something,
just a little something, man, to pass by. So you keep a little stash, just in case for that, but it's not a much. It might be like $20 or something, you know what I mean? You got to pay to play. And so
there you go.
Pay to play, so you give them a little $20 to send you off. They try to scare you with some little card they gave me. It was like, you driving without your mask, you can get up to 51 days in jail for driving without a mask. And so that's all they really want to do.
And we're going to chop your head off. But you give me this 20 spot, everything's going to be all right.
Everything going to be all right. So, we gave it 20 and was on my merry way to do whatever we was doing. But, yeah, went to Mexico. We couldn't go nowhere else. So I went to Cancun.
What you do in Cancun?
Cancun, I had a friend of mine who, we did a travel webinar, Miss Monique Waters. So we did a travel webinar on how to travel on a budget, how to go places for free, tips and trips, industry secrets on how to travel. And, we did that webinar. So she was able to get me a room at a resort, 5-star resort, for $35 total for 6 days. You know what I mean? So it was $6 a day, resort, pools around, everything was all inclusive. And so I stayed there, chilled out the resort, went paddling, I think, kayak, that's what it's called, kayak.
Right, I seen some pictures
on the water. I went to jet skis, and all that kind of stuff, man. So just enjoyed my time, relaxing, just somewhere to get away from Kansas City. Kansas City's landlocked, man. So, I want to be by the water. So it was just nice to get out, swimming in the ocean, and get away from this place, man, just for a little bit.
And where else, what other cities? This is brought to you by Africana Art, located at 1734 East 63rd Street. Cities did you visit when you were there?
So I went to Playa del Carmen, which was like 4 days, like in between.
What was
Cancun.
so unique about that? Why did you go there?
Playa del Carmen, like I said, it's only 45-minute drive in between there and Tulum. And so I met up with a group. Actually, it was a group of people from Kansas City down there at the same time. and they had rented a yacht, and so I was like, hey, I'll hop on there. So I paid my little money, got on the yacht, 4 hours. So we went, jumped off the boat to prepare food and all that kind of stuff, had music, drinks and all that kind of stuff. So just enjoying life. How y'all doing? Blacks in Tulum. Blacks in Tulum. Man. What's up, boss man?
We on our way.
Blacks in Tulum. Dallas in the house. KC in the house. A bunch of young entrepreneurs.
What age group was those? I seen, and we'll show you some of the photographs in this interview. How old were
everybody's probably around, early to mid 30s. You know what I mean? That was out there. So just little young entrepreneurs. What I found out was when I was in Tulum, there's a lot of digital nomads where, everybody was pretty much working from home. And so what happened is that, why be at home working wherever you at? So it might be New York, California, people from Houston, Texas, and all kind of places. And like, why would I work from home and pay this amount for rent when I can go down to Mexico and get like a two bedroom, one bathroom, one bathroom for like $400 or $500 a month and be right there by the ocean with great weather. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people down there doing work online down in Mexico, just enjoying the scenery, enjoying the beach.
What else was going on in Tulum? I'm saying, was there any archaeological or any landmark type?
Yeah, I was trying to, one of my main reasons was going to see the Mayan temples, but they was closed when I went. I tried to walk to it. I could actually see it on the beach, and I started walking to it, but it was a lot farther than what I expected. And they happened to open up a week after I left, so I have to go back. But I just met up with a group. It's a group called Blacks in Tulum. You know what I mean? So
how do you find these groups?
Man, it's a group for everything. If you like bird watching, there's a group on Facebook for bird watching. You know what I mean? And so there's groups for everything you want to do. It's black expats, around the country, around the world. Black expats in Colombia, black expats in Brazil, and expats are people who live in a destination other than where they was born at. And so a lot of people leave America to go live in all kind of places around the world, from China to Japan, Africa.
Really, in the early 1900s, that was really prevalent with black artists going to France, Copenhagen, and different places. As you say, expats.
New Zealand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, New Zealand is a common place for a lot of black people to be at. You wouldn't think, but it's a lot of people who like living in New Zealand. It's a lot of people don't want to deal with the compounding issues of being black in America and dealing with this stuff. They don't want to raise their kids here in America. And so, when you see the media about Mexico and Mexicans, and they put this negative spin like they put on everywhere else. It was a woman I was talking to. She was probably in her early 50s, in shape. She taught yoga down in Mexico. So we was downtown. It was after hours, and she said, "Yeah, I'm about to walk home." Downtown Mexico. You know what I mean? It was downtown, downtown any city. And she said, "I feel safe walking here. I've been here for like 3 months, and I feel safe walking to my apartment, in Mexico, like a 30-minute walk." And I was like, that's crazy, where you have a black woman in Mexico and in Tulum, downtown that feels comfortable walking, but can't feel comfortable walking at home
In the
in
United
the
States.
United States. And so that's mind-boggling. Where where people feel compelled to leave the states and would go to somewhere like Mexico or anywhere else that there's a negative connotation towards these countries and be able to thrive and live and don't want to come back. And so there was a lot of people that I met down in Tulum who, setting up shop there and just like, you know what, we don't have to deal with the things we have to deal with in America. We don't want to go back. And like that, these are communities, this black communities everywhere around this world that we set up in. You don't have to have a lot of money to live in these places. If you can find a way to make some kind of living online, your dollar stretches a lot farther in other places than
That's
it do
what
here.
you said when was it Ghana? You said you was saying about what you could buy acre or two of land by the beach or something, about 40,000 for a nice house or something.
Yeah, and same thing pretty much in Mexico. I would visit, but probably wouldn't want to live there. I want to be closer to my people. My plans is to go to Ghana still, but it's people who taking steps where Mexico was a small trip to get back to the States if they need to go there. So it's a
Little respite.
Yeah, a little $200 or $300 flight. To go back and forth.
But see, that's what the majority community been doing since the beginning of time. They have these places that don't have outrageous economies. They buy something, house, rent it out, and then when they want to do something in the summer or vacation, bam, they got it.
Right. I mean, at some point in time, I think a lot of people just need to get their passport and have it just in case. You know what I mean? Where you ain't sit here stuck in case something hits the fan. You got a way to get out. You can see it coming. And so just like when that pandemic hit and they shut the whole passport thing down, you couldn't get a passport for a long time. And so it's one of those things where people, you're able to travel. You just got to prioritize and budget. It's a lot of things you can do to, get to places to offset it. If you got cable and you paying $100-some a cable, you got a phone bill, you're paying $100-some, and you don't want to get Cricket because, people saying, oh, it's Cricket or Boost Mobile, and Cricket works off the same towers that those work off of, and they work internationally too. And so, you're saving $60 a month. That's like, $700 a year, in phone savings that you can take on a trip and really live. Right. Live it up, out the country.
So, after you left Tulum, where else did you visit?
Those are 3 places: Cancun, Tulum, and Playa del Carmen.
What was happening there?
To Tulum was more laid back. Cancun was like it's everything there. You want to party. You want to do like all the fun stuff. You want to go snorkeling, hop on a boat, deep sea fishing. Everything. They have all the hotels you want, the resorts, everything you pretty much think of is in Cancun. It's a big city. Playa del Carmen is more laid back. It's a lot more black people in Playa del Carmen than in Tulum. But it's more of a city kind of thing where they have a shopping mall there. They have, clothing stores, all this kind of stuff at Playa del Carmen. Tulum was more just like a vacation spot. It's like an old hippie spot where a lot of white people used to go and hang out and chill. And so it's coming popular now by a lot of black people going there. And so now, you go down there and you'll just see a gang of black people walking and just having fun, walking down the strip and the beach, enjoying life during this pandemic.
So what's your plans for closing out the year and starting the new year?
Plans for the year, getting more digital, showing people how to travel for cheap. Like I said, doing webinars on that, showing people how to use business credit, how to establish business credit, doing webinars on starting a nonprofit, writing grants, those type of things. Still traveling. I got plans in November to go to Nicaragua, and then probably go to Medellin, Colombia, probably December. And then I'm going to go back to Ghana to look at some land and stay there for maybe about 30 days to make sure it's where I really want to move to.
When do you plan to go back to Ghana?
I plan on going back to Ghana probably in January.
See whether I can get my money right so I can possibly go. And how long?
I'm going to ask you for a loan.
Now hold up, don't play crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you for a loan.
How long you think if you go to Ghana you're gonna stay?
Probably about 30 days.
Oh no.
I want to make sure that that's where I want to live at. So, I was there for 15 days last time. I enjoyed myself.
You
I felt at
stayed
home.
15?
Yeah, and so I was all over Ghana. And so I want to make sure I wasn't tripping the last time I went. So give me a little bit more time to get a feel for the areas, the community in which I think I want to live at. Live amongst the people, talk to the people, and so that's part of my plan. So I got a 2-year plan to possibly move to Ghana.
So what's happening here with the agriculture and the things that you involved in here and locally?
Yeah, so I just left the fruit orchard before I got here. That's still thriving.
Talk about that. Go into some detail.
We got Kansas City Urban Farm Co-op, so we have little under 180 fruit trees in Swope Park. We have almost 100 beehives back there, rows of blackberries and raspberries. So next year we'll get a whole bunch of crops of peaches, blackberries, raspberries, and we have some gallons of honey that we'll have, and we'll be able to serve and sell to people in the community. And we also donate some of that food. So in 20 years, we'll do almost 1 million pounds of fruit, out of that garden, the community garden. Now Valley Aquaponics, I kind of put it on hold before I went to Ghana. And so everything pretty much been on hold. I needed a break, and so.
Hey man, I don't know how, Dre, I know I'm the busy man. I don't know how you be doing it. You be the travel, the webinars, the horticulture, and at a moment's notice, as I said in other interviews, we had that land. Every time I've asked you to do something, you run on out to Smithville or my son's property. Look at that. Got property in South Carolina. And I'm sure I'm not the only one pulling on you.
Oh no, I'm pulled in all kind of directions. I sit on like 4 different boards. I sit on a board that the mayor appointed me on, and my food and security board. I'm on like 4 different boards, so I'm pretty busy. I'm trying to minimize my work, become more digital, man, and just I put my time in the community. The mentoring, because of COVID, we haven't been meeting, so we'll start back up in January. But just trying to put stuff together as far as templates where I can do a lot of stuff online.
That's the key. Did you hear what he said, audience? Put templates together.
Templates, so I don't have to do all the work, all the hard work over and over and over again, and I can find a way to monetize it where I can do this stuff digital and I don't have to be somewhere 24/7.
How do you feel Cobra is affecting your program with your youth? Because you had quite a few people tending the sheep, the fish, and when I would go on Woodland, I always see a bunch of kids. Wabash, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I think it put a dent in everything. The whole world was on hold, so we wasn't different than nobody else from the mentoring in Now Valley, trying to do the social distancing and everything like that.
Did we do any wine this year?
No, we didn't do any wine this year, man. We put everything pretty much on hold.
I finally got a bottle of that. It was pretty tasty.
Like it? Yeah.
It was pretty tasty.
Yeah.
I don't want to say who drank it mostly up from me, because I went to nothing there. So where can people contact you, Dre? And if they're interested in the travel, if they're interested in the hydroponics, if they're interested in growing in general, I had a brain lock. I'm back. Where are we at on that marijuana stuff? Because you and your partner applied for those licenses along with other people in Kansas City. They take your money, talking about no refund. That's not good.
Yeah, so basically where we at, we're in an appeal process along with 850 other people. We just got a letter the other day saying we'll go to court, I believe, in like March or May or something like that.
Give a little quick backstory on that and what that's about and how much money these people have gotten and how you feel in your eyesight that the process was.
So the process was you had non-refundable fees to pay for dispensary, manufacturing, and cultivation, and so it was non-refundable fees. You put the money up, you had to show so much money in the bank, for these different ones.
Right.
It might be like $300,000 for grow, $150,000 for manufacturing, $150,000 for a dispensary. And so it was almost like they redlined a lot of people who want to get in the industry, by not having that money in the bank or not having somebody with that kind of money in the bank. And so it was only few minorities who was able to get in because of that threshold that was in place. There was nothing set aside because we didn't partake in the amendment when it was being wrote. And so a lot of times when things happen politically, we last to the table and then we shout about this and that, but we not there on the initial end when the amendment is being wrote. And so there was nothing that could be done when they wrote that amendment, especially when it hit the House of Representatives. It was a Republican House. And so we went through the process. We didn't receive a license. It was 2,000 applicants. They gave it to like 300 applicants, but when they went through the process and graded it, they found out there was a lot of corruption in the grading. And so there was a lot of issues as far as corruption. The governor's office was involved. The DHSS, Department of Health and Senior Services, was involved. There was negligent in their hiring process. So the people who was grading it, who had a conflict of interest, was showing people how to get the license. And so it was a big old mess. And so now what we're thinking is that if you meet the minimum requirements of the license, so if you had the money in the bank, if you had checked all the marks, you wasn't a felon X, Y, and Z, that you might be able to get a license. Because right now, out of the $20 million they raised, they didn't probably use $9 million of it that was supposed to go to veterans, but the veterans only received like $2 million of that 20. And so this is going to cost them another $9 million to fight the 850 appeals. And so a way to alleviate that is to give people licenses, generate jobs, produce income from a state that's strapped for money because of COVID, and bring in tax dollars, which is needed. And so that's going to be the answer to, the problems that they already created because they wasn't ready to roll anything out. It should have been, dispensaries open, 3 months ago. But it's not one dispensary open because there's no product there because, this whole thing's been messed up from the jump of it. So that's what
they need to get something open because I think I told you I had all that radiation, 43 days of radiation, and I had to smoke some marijuana. My stomach and bowels and that was the only thing that gave me any type of relief.
Right.
And I'm not understanding why Colorado, California, everybody is dealing with this, and we're dragging our feet here.
Well, Missouri's a deep red state, and so they kind of backwards on a lot of stuff. And so that's part of the problem. But another thing that's coming up that we really aren't hip to is mushrooms.
All right.
And dealing with mushrooms on the healing properties of cancer, pain relief, the psychedelics, microdosing. I'm a novice with mushrooms, but I posted something online and I received a lot of inboxes and I was seeing a lot of messages from people saying, hey, I've been using mushrooms. These are black. I've been using mushrooms to deal with, anxiety, deal with depression, all this other kind of things because they research holistic things.
Holistic medicine in general.
Holistic medicine. So mushrooms are one of those things that, we can get on board and on the early stages because it's coming. They legalized it in Denver. It's on the ballot in Oregon. So it's coming to Missouri in the next 2 or 3 years. So this is something we can jump on the beginning stages. So we're not like where we was.
I think I'm talking to my son about that.
So it's not like where we was in medical marijuana where, when that boat came, it had
already left. Everybody had their tickets and we was on the dock.
We was on the dock trying to figure it out. So this is something where people can get on and be on the earlier stages of this mushrooms as opposed to waiting till that ship goes again.
All right, people, we're going to show you some pictures of his escapades down in Mexico, and tell our audience how to contact you, Dre.
Yeah, so my website is getting built, DreTaylorConsultant.com. You can still email info@DreTaylorConsultant.com. Dre Taylor on Facebook, Instagram, DreTay51, I believe, on Instagram. So you can find me on the internet. Just Google Dre Taylor, now Valley Aquaponics, and you'll find me somewhere on the line. So I'm not easy to I'm not hard to find.
Is there any
online.
closing statements that you'd like to?
Yeah, follow me and stay tuned because we'll be doing some more travel tips on how you can travel from place to place on a budget. Some it's professions that you can travel where you're free. If you teach like yoga, tennis, Pilates, personal trainer, massage therapist, it's resorts that would let you stay there for free. You just got to find a way to get there. You know what I mean? So there's all kind of stuff where you can travel and figure these things out. If you're a solo traveler, you know, there's things you can do where you can be safe while traveling, where somebody will know where you at all times. And so this is some of the stuff we teach in our webinar
Give
about how you do this.
Give old girls information too.
Yeah, Monique Waters on Facebook. You can find her there. I don't know her other contact information, but you can find Monique Waters on Facebook, and she has a massage therapy business, Massage Romani. You can find her there as well.
And you can find her on Cascade Sports under Health and Wellness. She had been on there talking good health tips and things of that nature.
Right.
So, as we always say in closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good night.
Program is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association.